Snipers. Love them or hate them, there's one thing about them that isn't like any other weapon. They're meant to be shot from a great distance. But they also need advantage points. Without it, a sniper's like a turtle without its shell. It's just not a sniper. And in Warzone, you don't have sniper spots. It's all out in the open. Until today. These are the 10 best sniper spots in Warzone. Starting this list off with a spot that we've already shown on this channel. Most of you who've known about it use it for the point of this video, as a sniper spot. But for the individuals who may not know how to get up here, the process is quite simple. Go to this grav lift down below and grav thrust up to this ledge. That's all that's really needed to get up here. This domed roof is a helpful spot to watch over North Garage and most of the northern side. However, it's not number 10 for nothing. It does have its problems. Because the roof's an upside down bowl, if an individual starts getting shot at, there's nowhere for them to take cover as a result of always being exposed. So most if not all of us already know about this outer ledge on top of Monument. It gives a great view overlooking both North and South Garage, and anything else between them. However, because most of us already know about this spot, I want to spend this time explaining a better, more efficient way to get to the top of the monument, instead of talking about the benefits and drawbacks of being up here. The way most of us get up is to clamber up this statue, using the spaceships as platforms. However, go over to one of the monument's panels that has the lines curving upwards. Jump onto it and rapidly click A. This will allow you to scale the wall, making the process to the top much quicker. Observing this bug over and over, I believe I know how it works. See, a lot of times game designers will polygon over objects and use shading to make it look like it has depth. However, in this case, 343 actually did polygon into the panels to form real depth for the lines. And add in the fact that the panels are at an angle, I can see the game mistaking this as a platform. So what do you think? Do you think I hit the nail on the head or I totally missed it? Put your thoughts down in the comment section below. Doing a speed test, I found the original method takes about 13 seconds, while this new method takes about 8 seconds. And it gets even faster if you apply the speed booster. Defending an area can be tedious, a constant give and push for both sides. Even when you have a great spot to defend with, it still can be a daunting task, never knowing when it might end. Such is the case with the Sidewalk on March on Stormbreak. Most players try to halt the advancement of the enemy team by planting themselves right behind these crates. Don't get me wrong, this spot is a nice spot to snipe from. It's just littered with issues, players being able to advance forward by using the crates as cover and people sneaking up from behind are just some of the problems with this area. However, by moving down the road a little bit and jumping over the side of the railing, a near perfect line of sight opens up. It doesn't get rid of all of the problems, but an individual can get great headshots all the way down to the other half of the sidewalk. Another great trait about this sniper spot is that because of the long distance and that the slot to look through is so narrow, a sniper can have ample amount of time to line up his shot and fire without the enemy ever knowing where the shot came from. The only downside about this spot is that the AI Banshees have a tendency to attack you, forcing you to either leave or take time to destroy them. But otherwise it's headshot after headshot. If you haven't seen our top 5 hidden moves video, then I suggest checking that out after this one if you don't know how to do some of these tricks. With that out of the way, number 7 can be found on Radon Apex 7. You could fly a Banshee or something up to this spot, but where's the fun in that? Plus, it's a waste of a Banshee. Instead, go over to the East Armory's grab lift, aim towards this protruding rock, and grab thrust over there. If you don't have the speed booster mod equipped, you'll probably have to go into stabilization to get the needed distance, but that shouldn't be a problem for you guys. When up here, an individual can overlook East Armory and most of the land around it. An awesome place to defend or attack the base, like a spider waiting for its prey, killing anyone who's foolish enough to walk under you. Anywho, if that wasn't enough, this sniper spot has a nice drop to a lower rock, giving a person a fairly large window to the center of the map, to perhaps pick off any enemy teammates trying to sneak over, or even better yet, to weaken bosses who have already decided to spawn, all at the safe distance of your sniper spot. This next spot can be found in the east and west tunnels on Escape from Ark. I underestimated it the first time, but man is it good. To get there, go to the end of the tunnel that leads to the center of the map. To the right, there should be a mini tunnel. Jump on the concrete arch, and right above you will be a pipe and a pair of cables. Clamber on the pipe and walk to the beginning of the cables, then climb up them. This next part's the only difficult part to get to this spot. There's a protruding cable support pressing up against the invisible wall. However, it's not too hard to get around. Just get a little bit of speed before you jump and you'll make it. Overall, it's a killer spot. You get not only a stellar view of both openings of the tunnel, but also an advantageous point to snipe the other armory. The only downside of being up here is the invisible wall. It prevents someone from jumping down. But I think it's all worth it to have a spot where the shots just line up. I don't know how 343 messes up on their barrier so much, but because of it, we get our next sniper spot. So on attack on Sanctum, head down to the red base and climb up this rock wall. This will then allow you to clamber on top of the roof. Do this as fast as possible. Run across the roof and carefully nudge yourself to the edge of the base. That should take care of the soft kill timer. It'll take a little bit for the timer to reset, so meanwhile look towards the temple and you'll have an excellent opportunity to snipe any enemy who crosses your line of sight. Bonus tip. Veteran players should already know about this, but if you zoom in with the sniper and line up your shot, you can then switch your weapon and still be on target. Hey, enough time's passed, we can move on to the spot. All that's left to do is hop up here and run to the front of the base. Don't worry too much about the kill zone, the front of the base has plenty of room outside of that boundary. Besides that, you get a fairly great view over most of the northern half of the map. Even better yet, most people are completely oblivious to you being up here, blue or red. Number 4 has its ups and its downs. Ups for being really effective, but down for being a pain in the ass to get to. In addition to the sniper rifle, you also need to save up for a gravity hammer. A few of you know what this means. Gravity hammer jumps. So, on March on Stormbreak, go to your armory's catwalk, and from there you'll have 3 sets of gravity hammer jumps. One from the catwalk to the roof of this protruding structure, another one to get to the top of the armory's tower, and a final one to get on top of the receiver's tower. Now I have the speed booster on, so I can just clamber on this first structure. However, if you have trouble with gravity hammer jumps, then may I suggest applying a death from above. It makes performing larger hammer jumps much easier. This may take you a few tries, however after reaching the top, all that's left to do is to snipe away. I find that this spot is most useful when a team has captured both their own armory and the fortress. It gives an individual the easiest time to get up here. It also gives that person the freedom to maintain their side while still being able to attack the other base. Seems like a nice trade-off for a little bit of work. Bonus tip 2. Just because this is a sniper video, that doesn't mean these spots are exclusively for snipers. In fact, the spot on Radon Apex 7 works better with a Hydra, and being on top of the armory, an individual has a large aerial view. This means if they have a Spartan laser, locating and destroying an enemy air vehicle can not only be an easy task, but also a huge benefit for their team. At number 3, we're back on top of Monument, and that's because we're going to be using the height of Monument to get to our next sniper point. Oh, by the way, grab the speed booster before coming up here. You're going to need it. So with that out of the way, look towards red base and you'll see this small platform. Run, jump, thrust, use stabilization, and end with a ground pound to get over here. Once you're on top of the platform, drop a grenade under you and go into another ground pound. The explosion from the grenade will push you up, giving you enough height that you can then thrust on top of the wall. All that's left to do is walk to the top and decide which ledge to jump to. That's how you get to the red side. However, getting to the blue side's a little more difficult. Instead of running straight across the top of Monument, you need to run down the outer edge of it. And as soon as you get past this little gray piece, that's when you jump towards the platform and perform a full hang time. If you're not sure what a hang time is, then again, go check out our hidden moves video. It's a little more precise than what I want to actually explain in this video. Personally, this is my favorite way up to these ledges. However, in case your team doesn't have control over the monument, there are 2 other methods worth mentioning. The first being is to go to one of these grab lifts in front of the home base and use it when you're in a ground pound. Then, when you get into the air, thrust to get out of the ground pound, and this will give you a burst of momentum, allowing you to land on top of the ledge. This may be the most direct route to these spots, however this technique is a little picky on how it wants to be done, so expect to spend a little bit of time trying to get this technique to work. The other method to get up here is to go to one of these 4 inclines. Scoot back and get a running start, jump and hang time around the wall to get to the platform. Now if you're doing this on the side with the bridge, then be sure to scoot back from the wall before dropping that grenade. Otherwise you'll die! But overall, these spots are mind-blowing. Picking off the enemy team coming out of their home base or their garage, it's like you're Solid Snake up here. So there's 4 spots on Attack on Sanctum that I just can't leave out. Not because I couldn't decide between one of them, but because they're too similar. The only difference between the 4 is how to get up to them and where on the map they lie. However, I'll get into what makes them similar in a little bit. For now, let's start off with my favorite spot on Attack on Sanctum. East from the blue base is an accessible ledge. Go to this elevated patch of land and leap from it. When you've got into the ledge, look towards blue base and follow the path to this flat rock. Jump on it, and as quick as possible, reverse your direction and hop over to this long overhanging rock. Once there, clamber on top of the cliff, and behind you will be a magnificent view of the southern half of the map. That wasn't too hard to get up here. However, this second spot's going to need a higher jump height, so guess what that means? Applying a speed booster. Man, we've used the speed booster a lot in this video. Anywho, on the east side of the map, a little ways down from Temple, the cliff makes a dip. Go over to this spot and climb up the cliff. When you get to this point, turn to the right and run down this narrow path. The ledge that's coming up is the reason for the speed booster. As soon as you get over this step, immediately jump to the ledge. And there you go. There is a higher spot up here, but it does try to push the user off. This next spot's west from the south garage, over by where the hunters spawn. It's a really awesome area. You get this entire stretch of land to snipe from. Now I used to get up here by climbing up the cliff. However, when messing around trying to get footage for this video, I found a pretty cool glitch that makes this entire endeavor a piece of cake. So over by this ruined structure, there's a gap. Crouch down in it, and when you stand up, the close proximity of the gap will push your Spartan into the sky. It's nothing like falconing, but it does do the job. Once in the air, thrust towards the cliff, and that should get you close enough to the rocks that you can grab onto them. Now there's not much for this final spot for number 2. Located by the red base, all that needs to be done is to clamber on this ledge and run to the peak of this protruding rock formation, before the soft kill barrier gets you. Now what makes all 4 of these spots so similar is their quality. Quality in terms of how many kills you can get without dying and how long you can stay in these sniper spots without being noticed are all the same. The only deciding factors on how good you'll do is how the game plays out and how well you can handle a sniper. This all leads to these spots having banshees flying right in front of you and snipers unaware that they're the ones being watched. The only thing these spots in number 2 lack is cover. Something that our final spot doesn't. Now I've shown some pretty great and awesome sniper spots in this video, but none of them compares to this last one. Located in the red base on March on Stormbreak, it's an absolutely brilliant sniper spot. But you can't get to a spot like this one without breaking the bank. So with that in mind, go to the terminal or before you spawn and equip a gravity hammer and something that will increase your speed, such as a speed boost, upgraded thrusters, or in my case, I'm going to go with the speed booster. After you've acquired those items and the sniper, head to the back of the base to the middle landing pad. From here, stand on this yellow ring and perform a gravity hammer jump. Don't do it too close to the wall, otherwise you'll thump into the invisible barrier. Once you've reached your apex, thrust forward towards the wall and then walk to the top of the incline. From here, it's another simple gravity hammer jump, or if you have the speed booster on, you can jump over to this ledge. In any case, after you've gotten up here, clamber over this last ledge and you're now officially on top of the red base. However, because of an invisible barrier, it prevents us from going and seeing what's on the other side of this wall of ice and rock. So what to do? Well, if we were on Battle of Noctis, this would be the end. But we're not on Battle of Noctis, and this is the Dungeoneers. We go above and beyond what's expected. So to the left is a non-physical ice wall, hence you can walk through it. After you get done being impressed with walls you can walk through, stand on this metal structure and poke your head past this rock. Notice the ground in front of you. This line's going to be your guide. Bonus tip 3, don't worry about trying to run or thrust. Invisible barriers have a tendency to negate these abilities. This area is the reason why we needed the enhanced speed. Back up behind the intangible rock and then walk forward. As you pass through the rock again, stay slightly to the left side of the line, and this will allow you to push through the barrier with little resistance. After you've gotten through, go up and to the right to get to this magnificent sniper spot. Now why did I pick this to be the #1 spot? It's not because it was a secret spot, or the plethora of cover, or that there are several locations for a sniper to use up here, or even the fact that the invisible barriers prevent any banshees from dive bombing you. No, those are all good reasons for it to be #1. But this sniper spot and the one on Battle of Noctis that I hinted at earlier is at our #1 spot because after you and your team have lost all hope and it seems like there's no chance of winning, this sniper spot can be your last line of defense without you feeling like the only purpose you had to spawn was to be someone else's kill. Being up here at the end of the game, it creates this entirely new dynamic of playing, where instead of running outside of your base and instantly getting killed, you can be on top of your base, defending it more decisively from incoming invaders. Now unlike this one on March on Stormbreak where you get this vast view to watch over most of the western side of the map, the one on Battle of Noctis, which is only possible for the blue base, only gives you a small segment of the ground to watch in front of both of the garages. But with that aside, it does have a fairly great view to keep an eye on the sky. In concluding with this spot, I love to use it, especially when the enemy team has captured all of the bases. At this point, you may not be able to win the game, but you can be damn sure you can go out fighting. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video of the 10 best sniper spots in Warzone. Let me know down in the comment section below which was your favorite spot. And as always, you guys have a nice day and we'll see you in the next video. Before I end this video, I like to touch on a few things. First, I know some of you have been waiting a long time for this video, and I thank you for being so patient with me. I've had a lot on my plate for the last 5 months, some good, some bad, and some life-changing experiences that I just never thought I would have to go through. Next Friday, I'll go a little more in depth with that and what's coming up in the near future for this channel, kind of in a update, vlog video. I'm not sure exactly what it would be called. I've also set up a Patreon, so if you want to support what I do, go over there after this video. The link will be in the description below. And with that, as always, thank you guys for watching. You have a nice day, and we'll see you in the next video.